Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Tarot Tube. Today is December 12th, and this is my first broadcast. What I'm going to do here as part of this series is every day I'm going to do a live reading, and you can go ahead and participate in the live chat or leave comments, and if you do that, I will try to tailor this read or future reads to whatever particular problems you have. Feel free to talk about anything from the state of the world, politics, down to personal romantic relationships, careers, what have you. If anything I say is particularly relevant to you, please let me know as well. That way, I can learn to attune myself to the energies of the universe. So, what we're going to do now, since I don't think anybody's going to just happen upon this video, is we're going to do a reading about the Alabama special election, which has occurred today. There's a lot of stuff going on there. It's a scary kind of moment for a lot of people. The fact that we could have a sexual predator here in office. That's sort of a terrible prospect. Votes are about 80% counted, last I checked, with Doug Jones having a slight edge, but it was literally within hundreds of votes. So I think all of us here could use a little helpful energy from the tarot, and so I'm going to go ahead and do a read relating to that. So I'll do a 3-card read. This is generally the simplest read. It's the one beginners always learn. And the basic idea is the first card will be about the past, the second card will be about the present, and the third card will be about the future. So let's begin. Past card. We have King of Wands. Now, kings in general, they sort of show the dominant characteristics of their suit, and the idea is it's external focused, it's masculine, it's not internal focused like the queen would be. So it's not telling you to be like that suit, it's telling you to do things that suit represents. So the wand suit in particular has to do with creativity, it has to do with action, and it has to do with taking action. Now, to relate this to the past, with this whole special election, I think a lot of us were put in a position where, we were receiving emails from the Democrats telling us to donate, and we felt ourselves sort of forced to take action here. Normally, I wouldn't pay any attention to an election that's going on in Alabama, but ever since this whole nightmare of 2017, we've all been paying a little bit more attention. And so when we see something like this, with how much news coverage it's been getting, people are just sort of more aware of it, and I think a lot of us have felt compelled to be a little bit more directly involved than we would have been in the past before this. So I think that card is really, really relevant to the situation, especially for me, a person who was always apathetic to politics before this, and so that's where we're at. All right. Let's now look into the present. Present, we have 9 of Wands, and boy, doesn't this feel relevant. So 9 of Wands, we see the guy here, he's standing in front of a wall of wands, and he's holding a wand himself almost as a staff. You can see he's been through some shit, his head's all bandaged up, and he's sort of being a little defensive. This man has seen some wounds, and he's standing there and he's ready to defend himself from future wounds. I think this is particularly relevant to the whole 2017 and Trump situation. A lot of us feel just really overwhelmed, barraged by insult after insult, and it doesn't really seem like we can catch a break. All the special elections that happened over the past year, they've not quite gone our way, and they've been pretty difficult. So I think this is particularly relevant. Right now we find ourselves being a little bit defensive. We find ourselves participating in an election that normally wouldn't even be competitive, if it weren't for just how truly horrible this man is. So I feel like that one's a pretty good indicator of how we feel at present. All right, now let's look at the future. This is the big one. Who are we going to win? Doug Jones, Roy Moore? Where we go? Ooh, okay. That's not going to bode well for that. Five of Cups is all about loss. So you see in this image, we've got a downtrodden, cloaked individual looking at these three fallen cups. He seems pretty sad about the whole situation. So if we're relating that to the future of this election, it's not looking good. I think we might expect to see another disappointment here. But the important thing to notice about this card is if you look behind him, there are two cups not yet spilled. And so this tells us to remain hopeful. It tells us that there are things to look forward to in the future. 2018 could still be a pretty good situation. There are a few seats that will be competitive then. And also, the fact of the matter is that this should have been an uncompetitive election. This should have been very, very easy for the Republicans to win. And the fact that we can come this close is really a good sign. And this will be a real test of my psychic abilities. But I'm gonna say this doesn't exactly bode well for our situation. So anyways, that's our read for December 12th. Sorry to disappoint everybody with the bad news.